Hey guys, it's Wayne. I just wanted to do a little review to maybe help you guys out on the decision if you've been thinking about getting a phone cooler. I personally never had heard of them until I started playing Warzone Mobile. And as soon as I started playing Warzone Mobile, I realized I couldn't even play the game because my phone would overheat so much. And I have a S23 Ultra Samsung, which was the best at launch time of the game and the phone. And it was still like turning into a hot iron, ready to cut through some butter. Anyway, these are the top 5 coolers that I picked out, and I've had them all on for I think about 10 to 15 minutes. I just got, I didn't open it. I just got like a little heat gun so I could see what the temperatures really are. That's my dog. Hey, Chewy. Tail wagger. Think I have enough cords to power all these devices? And then I got a heat gun too. Everybody pretty much measures their stuff in Celsius. Like, for instance, this cooler right here says -3 degrees. Um, they're all measured in Celsius. Like this guy is trying to say 13 degrees. This one's saying -2 degrees. You can see this one's gigantic. These are the same brand, and that's the same brand too. Pardon me. Mimo. You can see this one's quite a bit bigger. It's made for a tablet, but if you have a large phone like mine, and it has at least like a 3-inch diameter, like the side section, then it'll totally fit on your phone. Um, this one apparently has some dirt and some ice off my gym table. Anyway, I also just got in these stickers. They're washable on the back because you can see that this has a bunch of crap on the back. It says you can just wash them off, reuse them. You can see the magnetic ring in them, and then the little tapered uh, extender. So what happens is you put it in the middle of your phone, like pretend I'm putting this on my phone right here, and this part hangs out on the opposite side of where your camera lens is, because that's where your CPU is, and your CPU is what creates all the heat in your phone. Even though phone coolers go in the middle of your phone, that's not where the heat's coming from. And what I had on there before was this sticker, because you can see most of mine are all circles and small. And I'd just been using a circle sticker this whole time that makes it magnetized. If you have an iPhone, you're already good to go. You don't need to have a magnet because they have what they call a safe case. They're already made from uh, a material where the what's it called, the inductive charging has a magnet in there in the back, hidden underneath the back plate. So they're called MagSafe phones. Yeah, I bought a couple of these. Like I said, these are the other type, the circular type. But these are heat spreaders. These are just to hold heat coolers on. These are actual heat spreaders. They disperse the heat a bunch more. You can see they're about a millimeter thick. They're kind of thick. They feel really strong. They're not bendable at all. Um, they're built really well. So I'm pretty excited about that. I do have one on my phone right now. I have one of these ones. It's just a little bit different sight angles and sight shape and a little pattern difference. So also, just funny enough, this one uses up to 36 watts. It usually runs at 25. You can see right on my cable, it's running at 25, 24 right now. But its startup power is 25. And so I had this charger right here. Get an angle of it. It's the Anchor 45 watt. And as you see, if I just go to take it apart, the whole thing falls apart. I had to take it apart because it overheated and started to like smoke, and it wanted to like catch on fire, and it blew out a bunch of the different settings. So I can only use it on 5 volts, and like think like 12 volts. It doesn't have 9 or 15 or 20 volts anymore. Like most of them, all the resistors melted out of it. So it was like super cheaply made. So stay away from Anchor power supplies. ANKER. This is my backup battery. It went bad on me. It's called the ONN. It went bad on me, and then somebody said I had to leave it. Yo, that thing had to sit for at least 2 months straight, and then it trickle charged and took another month to charge up just one time. And I'm using it for this video right now. So it took me 3 months to get that thing to get a charge going on it, and it's already at, they're trying to say 93%. It's a little hard to read with this camera. I just got this 65 watt charger, and you, oh, stuck my finger in there. You can see I got a fan with the switch, and I just ran a short cable, although on the bottom of it there is a small battery, so I can run it even if it wasn't to be plugged in. And that's because within 5 minutes, and this is me, what up? Within 5 minutes of getting this, oh, yep, we got it correctly, Mon-Ad brick, I plugged 2 things into it, it overheated and shut down. I thought I'd already killed it. So I took apart one of these actually, and you can see like remnants of it, a bunch of screws, old fan. I took it apart so that I could use it on there, and ever since then it's just been barely warm to the touch, whereas before it was so hot when I touched it I thought I was gonna hurt myself. Like it was like fiery hot, which is horrible for electronic devices, as the theme of the day is phone coolers. So without further ado, let's get to some phone coolers. This fan's kind of cool though. It does have a little switch and a gearbox. It's got 3 different speeds for it. So let's see, let's start out with the least coolest one, the one that says it's at 14 degrees. You can see on the back they all make condensation and water. It is Hawaii where I'm at, so it does get pretty hot. I noticed, let's see, that this dot is a couple inches high. So it's running at 20 degrees. If I go here, it'll be hotter because there's no actual cooler device under the bottom half of this freezer. The cooling device is right there in dead center in the middle. So it's running at 20 degrees, and it's advertised at 13. So that clearly is a little bit of a marketing scheme going on there. This one's just running at -1. Although when you're playing Warzone Mobile, this hovers around 10 to 12 degrees. But with no load on it currently, it's at -1. So let's see what a real world temperature of their -1 degrees is. Let's see the coolest we can get. 20, 14, 13, 12. So I'd say about 12 degrees. So that one is just about as big of a liar liar pants on fire as the other one is. So are we thinking that this -3, which by the way, this one puts out a lot of air. The fan speed on this is really fast. I forgot to mention this one has a little button right there. You can see it on the side. So it goes through like being off. Your first mode is L3, and then it goes L2, which is a slower fan, and then it goes L1, which is the slowest fan. I think they did that so people could put it on low fan speed while they're recording like a YouTube or Twitch video, but it still makes enough noise that it interrupts your microphone, and you can't really hear the gameplay over it, or the gameplay of the phone. It interrupts. You can hear your microphone if you have like a microphone on your head through headphones, but it takes away all the gameplay quality of sound, which is kind of unfortunate because I bought these to play with that game to stream. But that's where this little heatsink comes in, and it helps the phone out. And I still stick this huge one on here with it off just for my game and turn it on in lobbies to cool my phone back down real fast, which it will do because it's so powerful and oversized. But I leave them both on, so all my heat goes into here from my phone, and then it goes into here, and it's got so many side fins and such a good transfer heat at the bottom. That's a nano silica, which this is also nano silica. This is just a sticky version of it. So it transfers heat real good, and you can play a whole game without your phone overheating. So this guy says -3. I wonder if you can put our hand on it and get it to change the degree. No. Just wondering if that would even affect it. No. Anyway, it says -3. Let's see what the price is right. 20. They're all lying at the same exact rate. $18. I guess the other one was at 12. First one was around 20. This one, I get it around 17. 17 is about as cold as we're gonna get with this guy. I noticed that it does. These two kind of hold their own in Warzone Mobile, even though they're running around 10 to 20 degrees Celsius. It's a lot better than running at like 45 to 90 degrees Celsius, which makes your phone unbearably hot to touch. This is frozen to it, it feels like. Yeah, that's just a layer of ice. So this one, I'm getting ahead of myself. This one's at 15 watts. This is 36 watts. Same company. This, because I do have cables that are telling me the wattage output, this one being 12 right now, I've seen what every one of these puts out. This is 8 watts, 8 watts, 6 watts. Like I said, this is a 15. It's extra special. It's got the smallest cooling area, but it's the second best cooler. All these, like this little tribal stuff, and the time sign, and the ice machine, it says right on there, all these logos, that stuff's not cool. It's an inner black circle only that cools off. Whereas if you compare it side to side to this one, that whole entire back cools off, so you have more cooling area. Somehow this one gets your phone cooler though with a smaller surface area. So I don't know, it just trips me out. So let's see what the temperature of ice is. I think I saw 3. The ice is already melting since I turned it over. I live in Hawaii, it's pretty hot out right now. So I saw 3 degrees. This one has no thermometer on it, and the ones that have no thermometer seem to be the coolest ones. Also, you'll notice one other thing. Look at these fins. If you look directly at them, they go straight in. Like, they're perfectly straight. They all fan out perfectly. This one, if you look inside there, they're all cocked off at a 45-degree angle. If you try and see through the side, you can't see through the side because they're all bent at an angle. So when the air sucks in the top and shoots out the sides, it has to hit a bunch of pressure before it can get out, which makes it disperse heat better. This one is the only one that does have this one feature. All these are magnetic, or you can use clips that come with them. This pops off so you can clean it inside there, because after 2 weeks you're going to get all kinds of like hair and just debris stuck in there. You're going to want to clean it out like once a month. So you put your clip on there, you put your clip on the other side, and then just relock your cap right back on to your foam cooler, and it holds the clips in place. This would be kind of a design of what that clip system would look like. This one just uses a spring instead, and it's built in. These all have spring clips, but I use a magnet, so I don't have them attached currently. Even this guy comes with a clip, but it's only made for a tablet. If you're going to use it with a cell phone, you have to use the magnet. So let's see what temperatures we got on this one. They picked up a ton of dirt. Okay. Saw negative 1.3. Negative 1. So one of these foam coolers, let's say we're getting 1 degree out of it, or 0. Let's just say we're at 0, which is freezing. That means it would have to be 40 degrees outside. So the outside temperature right now is about 27. I just hit a wall or a TV or whatever. Yeah, it's at 27 degrees. So these are dropping this is dropping the temperature, and this is dropping the temperature of the cooler air by 30 degrees Celsius. The most the cooler can cool your phone down from ambient temperature, which is outside temperature, to the actual faceplate of one of these coolers is 40 degrees. So if I had the most expensive, like $100 cooler, I think I'd be able to get down to like negative 15 or negative 10 on this device. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off the back of this thing. It looks so ugly, all dirty. There, it's not dirty, I promise. You can see the square bump on the bottom. That's the device beneath it that actually does all the cooling. That does the footwork. So there you go. This, I mean, it's not. I've gamed with this. This will heat up your phone while you're playing Warzone, but it's a lot better than nothing. This one's called the DL-A3. That's the model number for it. I bought most of these off like Temu or Alibaba or eBay, stuff like that. Amazon. This second one, Bang Wang, which is obviously generic as all hell, is called the X76A. And if you can see, magnetic cooler. The boxes came in pretty bad shape. This guy, which I really like this thing, it changes colors to such cool colors. These two are constant, solid colors. This one's just going into its blue phase right now. And so this one actually throws it down pretty good in Call of Duty Warzone. And I believe it's a GT16. Yeah, model GT16. That's a really good cooler. I like it a lot. This one obviously smokes the brakes off of all three of those. Being the Mimo. Mimo right there, Mimo. You can see this one that's the least best is also a Mimo, but the one that's the very best right here, Mimo. This, oh, it does say what it is. It's called the CX07. That's really important because you can get this cooler for like $10 on Temu. You just gotta wait like half a month for it to come, like 2 weeks. But this cooler works so good, it's insane. Also, it's the only cooler in this entire lineup that has a self-adapting fan. So there is a temperature sensor in there, it just doesn't have a display for it. So as the temperature rises in your game, that fan will go harder and harder and kick on and go faster and faster just to keep up with the amount of heat that you need to dissipate. Um, this big boy over here that, oh, you can see in the picture what those clips look like. Um, Compatible with iPhone and iPad. It's the CX09. So the other one's the CX07. This one's the CX09. There's CXO, you name the number, but these are the two best CX model lineups that they have. They have all kinds of different knockoff ones like this that just don't work that good. I mean, if you think about how many fins there are and how much air distribution is coming out of here in every direction, this thing has none on both sides. It's got these tiny little holes in the top, and at the bottom, those two little holes are almost non-existent. This thing can't get any airflow. I mean, even if it could cool down good, we would never know because the air can't flow through that thing. But if you might have noticed this one has straight fins, but it has a ton of them. So the more fins you have that are thinner, the better heat distribution you're going to have. If you have fewer fins that are spread farther apart, that are thicker, you're going to have less heat distribution. I also made a beer cooler because I had bought, you can see how much condensation is picked up on this thing. I had bought this cooler, which both ends of it broke off on me because it's such a terrible design, but it was like $30. And so I took it apart, put the faceplate of a different one on it, and if I'm sitting here, I have my weights next to me, I just set it down right in between two of the weights. This cord will cooperate like that. So I stick it right between the two. This is a full can of Monster. And it just sits right on there and stays cool like all day long. So that's just something I made. That's just a homemade whip right there. But this thing runs at 25 watts. It's ridiculous at how much cooling this little guy does. Because I put a different cooler in it than what came originally in it. That also broke when it fell apart. So anyway, that's the lineup of stickers, heat plates, foam coolers. These are just extra heat plates that I got, extra stickers. Oh, and over here, something that's super important. This is called thermal paste or thermal grease. What happens is that is applied directly to the cooler chip. That cooler chip, this is thermal grease that's dead. It's all hard and dried. That cooler chip connects straight to the heat sink, and it also connects to the bottom side of these coolers that touches your phone. So having a good amount of thermal paste changes how well one of these things will cool. Now, since some of them are Chinese knockoffs, they're gonna be hit or miss if you got enough thermal paste on them, and if you have a good spread across that CPU. So I've taken most of these completely apart and replaced the thermal paste with better name brand thermal paste, and a lot of them were missing over half their thermal paste and doing way worse than they're doing now. So I've taken them apart and reworked them over. I have different thermal paste coming because this stuff honestly is a little bit watery for me. I like a thicker paste personally, but that's just after 19 years of Android phones and building computers from scratch and stuff. I just like a thicker paste. It sticks on better. It has better adhesion factors. This is just goopy and not very well of a product. And when I got these, it showed somebody's hand with this device with this in it, and it was smaller than the palm of their hand. I get it, and they're like 10-ounce, huge, gigantic syringes. I'll never use that much in my whole life. Even if that's the type that I wanted to redo these with, which is I don't even like this type. It was just really cheap. It happened to get here with a package that I had coming in. I have more coming in for later. Um, I do feel bad about the clips of things, so I'm gonna just show you. Go ahead and show you what clips do look like. Um, this is a clip, and they have very strong. They have super strong. Let me just take this off and slip it on real quick. They have really strong springs. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so all I did was slip it on from the top down, and then when it goes to hook on your phone, they both pull up like that. It clips on your phone, you let go, and this holds it on really strong. I've tried the clips for sure. Don't get me wrong, but ever since I got the magnet working well, I've just stuck in with the magnets. They're so much easier to change out when I'm just playing around and want to use a different cooler on my phone. Yeah, so that's all of them. The only piece of advice I have for these heat plates is when you take your phone off, don't pull up on it because you're gonna pull that thing right off the back of your phone. Slide your phone or slide your heater sideways off to the side. That way it stays in position really well. So as you can see, since we've been filming and had this cleaned off and put on the bottom, is running at 23 just now. If I hold it in the air, it'll go down in temperature usually pretty quickly and go down to -3 degrees. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Which is what we found out was really like 20-ish, 17-ish. So that's the full lineup. If you have no other choice and nothing else, put one of these on. They're silent. If you can get one of these plus one of these coolers, that's awesome. If you can't get both, they come with magnets in the box already with them, with the clips, so you can just use one of the magnets. Make sure you take some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and a fine cloth and wipe your phone off the back of it really good before you stick that sticker on. I went through like 4 or 5 of these stickers, wiping it off with my shirt only really well. And then I put alcohol on a fine cloth and wiped it off, and that one never fell off again. And that one I could pull straight off, just bam, pull it right off. And it was steady Eddie, never even started to delaminate off my phone whatsoever. Yeah, again, I'm Wayne. Nice to meet you guys. Hope I helped you out and helped you with a little bit of decision making. If you have questions on other coolers or anything at all, leave it in the comments. I have had many other coolers, and I just have given them away to people as giveaways because I do that. Sometimes I'll just pick somebody in the comments and I'll send them a free cooler. So I've had all kinds of different coolers. This is just what I got right now that I think shows how bad something can be off by a lie and how well a product can be made that's not a lie like at all. Um, so there's that yin and yang. Anyway, me and my little gadgets are out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Aloha from Hawaii. Take it easy.